First load, always long load. Hello everybody, welcome to the XMG Captain's Draft 2.0. My name is SUNSfan, you're my Cinder. This is 4AC versus Team Taker. Cinder, make sure your mic is working in Dota TV.
It is.
Thank you. You are great at this. You are terrific. You never make any mistakes.
I'm actually so good. Where whoa, he connected last second. So, welcome to the last day, I guess we could say, of the round robin. This is, out of the two matches we'll have today, this is the less important one. Let me actually just really quickly check for ASC. So while I talk about that, for Team Tinker, this has absolutely no impact. They are third place no matter what happens. So they might be fucking around a little bit. We'll see if that's the case. At least EGM asked in the chat, he was like, does this match matter to us? And I was like, you can't move. Okay, time to go retard.
That's
I
fine
don't know if
with
they're
me.
gonna do that.
Yeah.
4ASC can advance in position, and that of course gives them more prize money. So they actually have something to play for in comparison to Tinker, who kind of only play for fun and for the pleasure of the fans. If 4ASC win 2-0, they surpass Alliance and PR, unless if PR win a game against Na'Vi, in which case they're tied. So potentially they can jump 2 positions right now, up from 8th to 6th is a possible scenario here for 4ASC. So we'll see what Tinker pulls out of the bag. I think 4ASC are going to do their very best to win. We'll see if Tinker do the same or experiment a little bit. They're going to ban some standard stuff at least. Sand King is out against Jerax. They're banning the Doom against Matumba. And then Puck. I'm not sure who plays a solid Puck on 4ASC. Whereas for them, they ban Death Prophet, top tier pick. Brood, kind of the same as always. And then Timber against, I guess, Sing Sing. I would say.
Even if they wanted to mess around, there's no heroes to mess around with. Like, what the heck? There's literally no heroes here that would be unusual. Maybe Sven to some degree. Well, Anti-Mage early pick. That's surprising. I mean, Lion is still in the pool. Excuse me, Cinder. What's some good counters to AM? We got Lion.
Shadow Demon.
Shadow Demon's already been picked. That's right.
Yeah,
they're gonna deny the Lion. Oh, they're actually going for the Mirana Shadow Demon setup. I love this. This is like Pycat all over the place. Nature's Prophet's probably gonna get picked for him at some point. But this is what they did. Well, not they. Who did Pycat even play for back then? I don't even remember. He's been on so many teams during TI qualifiers.
Mouse Sports, I think.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it was Mouse Sports.
But yeah, I'm surprised to catch up on what's been happening. They're picking fast, but the Lion pick for me for ASC makes sense in this support pool. But the AM insta pick against Shadow Demon, the reason Shadow Demon is a good counter is when you have Mana Break skilled on AM, the illusions Shadow Demon obviously makes with Disruption have the Mana Break as well, and they spawn right next to AM when he gets out of the Disruption. So if you have any sort of follow-up stun, he takes so much damage from those illusions. Like Shadow Demon Mirana can basically kill AM from full health and mana on level 1. That is pretty scary, if he has Mana Break skilled. Now, if he doesn't do that and skills Blink, it's a different story. And you've seen anti-mages in the past skip Mana Break entirely until level, like, 10 when they're playing against a Shadow Demon, just to avoid that problem. We'll see if they do that. Now, Mirana, Shadow Demon, like you said, they get Gyro, solid carry for the setup. LC Abaddon for ASC, double
3,
Purge.
2, 1, Bristle back. All right.
They have double Purge against, or not Purge, double Dispel, if you will, against Arrow with both LC and Abaddon. So that's going to help the Anti-Mage a lot.
If only they had Oracle, they'd have all 3.
Yeah, that's true.
Ridiculous freaking hero.
It's going to be a
by the way,
Magnus
somebody
for
in
Arise,
somebody in chat said, I don't know if you heard that, that Oracle is actually working in CD. They've tested it.
I heard that. Yep.
We just haven't seen him yet.
We haven't seen it at all. A little unfortunate, but there's still 3 more games today, and hopefully we get to see it in one of them. Magnus is going to be picked up by Arise, probably his #1 trademark hero. He plays an extremely good Magnus, and then finally they get the Prophet. And we didn't even mention Arise is standing in. He's standing in for Koikva.
Thank God, I don't have to pronounce that name. Jeez.
Yeah, that's true. Now you're gonna call this guy Airs or something.
Airs? I think I can handle Arise.
Okay,
and as I say that, I'm probably gonna call him stand-in by accident. So it's
R1C.
So I brought this up beforehand, and it's coming to fruition. Pycat, Nature's Prophet, is so disgusting, and I'm hoping he doesn't go to the jungle. But looking at their lineup, I think he probably will.
I think he's gonna.
Oh my God! Look at this! I thought this was the actual Magnus.
Wait.
This is a bug The effigies have color, and they're
Since
very
when do they have
confusing.
color?
Yeah, this has got to be a bug. But let's
That's
just go over the lineup real
pretty
quick. So
hilarious.
for Team Tinker, SingSing on the Eurocopter because he likes eating delicious Euros. Bulba's going to be playing the Shadow Demon. EGM on Mirana. Mid, Arise. I pronounced it right. Are you proud of me? Playing the Magnus mid, and the Pycat looks to be safe lane top, so that's awesome to see.
Yeah, this is a classic thing that he played when he played with mouse sports. At least in some of the games, I think. They played the Prophet safe lane in an aggressive try, and then if it was try versus try bot, they could always TP in and assist with the Prophet. As now, Matumba Man, uh-oh. He's gonna have to skill Blink and get out, but...
Whoa, big plays! Arrow! Oh! What a first blood! Coming the way of Team Day, even lull it. Why is there no horse, EGM? Come on, buddy. That was actually pretty freaking sick. Not gonna lie. Oh.
Very nice by the Shadow Demon in particular. The Bulba already got in position, anticipating the blink going that direction, or at least across. So when Anti-Mage is here, he has a couple of ways to blink. He can blink right, which is awful. He can blink up, which is his death. And anywhere left, Shadow Demon pretty much was. So very nice first blood by Tinker. And this safe lane AM is going to be in a lot of trouble, I think. He's playing against Shadow Demon, Gyro, Mirana lane, which is extremely potent. Oh Boogie.
Boy. Mirana's not really closer. They're gonna get the disruption.
They're gonna
try to block him in, and it looks to be enough. Abaddon. Okay, here comes Anti-Mage and Lion to try to force them out here. Boogie on the run. He's at half health, but the Eurocopter is fine to just pop his Rocket Barrage over and over again. Matumbo Man can't really chase too much. Why don't you go over their lineup before we get a missed kill and blame it on you?
So Tinker's lineup.
That is correct. Very good, syndereN.
Okay, let me do that one. We've got
top
EGM.
lane. You might need to.
Yeah.
This is a lot of goo, man.
He's gonna be fine. They're both level 1. I don't think Trixie has any kill potential in this.
Not yet.
So, well, we're looking at top. Pycat will be playing the Prophet, as you mentioned. We've got Arise on the Magnus mid.
What? No. Is that a troll? Is that a troll? I already did Tinker. For God's sake. I was just commending you for listening to me.
The bot lane, we've got Bulba on the Shadow Demon, EGM on Mirana, and SingSing will be playing the Gyro card.
I hate you so much.
For Team 4 ASC, we've got Matumba Man on Anti-Mage safe lane together with Jerax's Lion. Boogie will be playing as a Baton. Mid lane, Volix will be playing as Legion Commander against Magnus. Should be an interesting lane. And finally, to round it off, top lane, Trixie on the Bristleback against Prophet, which this is an interesting lane for me, the Bristleback Prophet matchup. I think Bristleback should have an edge, but...
Yeah, I would think so. But it is Pycat's Nature's Prophet. We'll see.
He is pretty good.
We'll have to look at that lane shortly, but bottom lane is where most of the action will, in all likelihood, occur. EGM is the one farming. Are you surprised by this? This is a support SingSing on Gyro. Very surprising to me, as they're going to transition. You're going to get the Bounty Rune bottom. Invis on Arise. Perhaps a gank here in mid. They have Rocket Barrage. They have this setup with Disruption.
I might know why Tinker are doing it this way. There's no guarantee that this is the thought process. It could be multiple things, but I'm thinking the Shadow Demon Mirana roaming duo is actually weaker than Shadow Demon Gyro if you're playing against heroes that have the magic dispel, right? So if you're playing against a Baton, it's way much easier to counter gank a Disruption arrow. You just TP in when Disruption comes, and you Aphotic Shield after the arrow, and the guy's saved. But Gyro's damage output is a lot higher. And Mirana is also better off in the offlane, standing 1-on-3, whereas Gyro can't stand alone. So there's quite a lot of merit to doing it this way. And I honestly think it's the best choice they could make. Although, I don't think many teams would have done this. But
here they come. They could even go for the Courier Snipe, but obviously they don't see that as we can at the moment. It could be upgraded in the next 5 seconds, though, so we'll see if that's the... Oh, this Courier is amazing, by the way. Very good Courier. He's just going to Bottle Crow. And well, they haven't really found an opportunity to gank him because he's just sitting by his tower. So very nice awareness from Volix. And this gank is completely thwarted. But Mirana's getting the solo XP she wants. She's almost level 4. Top lane, Pycat versus Trixie. Trixie has a little bit of a level advantage, and the CS as well, but not to the highest degree. But he does have quite a bit of kill potential. Obviously, there's a TP out from Pycat. He can TP out anytime he wants, but if one other person comes and helps Trixie, that's an easy kill, as long as they can stop TPs.
Well, there's only one hero who can do that, and that's Lion. So
that's not true. AM can use his ult at level 6, okay?
At level 3.
He'll get there, okay? He'll get there. That is
We're
true.
seeing Matumbo Man skill
it's
like I
pretty
talked
safe.
about though. He's not skilled mana break. Yes, 1 point in blink, 1 in spell shield, and currently 1 unspent skill point.
Do you think
Not
he
sure.
just saves the skills, or?
I think there's 2 options here. Either he saves it to see if mana break can get him a kill later, and then he might skill it, which could actually.
Lane, here's a skewer onto Volix. Is there any setup here, Bulba? Disruption, okay. Yeah. Soulcatcher's not going to apply, but the Eurocopter's there. Boogie, the nice save thanks to the Aphotic Shield. And yeah, you're right. And we've seen this kind of hit or miss to some degree in this tournament with Abaddons. Sometimes coming way too late, sometimes being amazing. Who was it that played, damn, what was his name?
Jotum?
Who's the one that played it? Yeah, it was Jotum, that's right. Played an amazing Abaddon. So we'll see if Boogie can live up to his Boogeyman name.
Oh, but yeah, EGM's dead. There's another blink coming from Matumba now. Just needs 1 swing.
Boom!
So he's chose to skill mana break now, and as I mentioned before, he holds his skill point to see if it gives them kill potential, and since Lion catches out Mirana, he goes for it. So now he's probably going to proceed with the standard burning build, safe lane AM, with 1 in mana break, 1 spell shield, then max blink and stats, and then farm the jungle with, hopefully for him, an early battle fury. He's been shut down a little bit though.
Yeah, he has 19 last hits, but when you compare it to Mirana, which is exactly the same, that is shocking, actually, in a 3v1. How, syndereN? How is that possible? It's actually really impressive coming the way of EGM. That is pretty disgusting. Homing Missile, Sing Sing, levels at level 2. It will eventually hit this AM. Yeah, you're not denying that. But obviously not that much damage. Arrow's going to connect as well, but the Aphotic Shield's coming. And that's the beauty, or the disgustingness of Abaddon, depending on your perspective.
Oh, they could be killing EGM. Nope.
No way.
Oh.
Okay, well they don't synergize the greatest there. His blink is up in 3 seconds to heal. Miscoil Boogie on the run. Jerax now here to support, but here comes Pycat with the Nature's Prophet. Gets sheeped immediately. Rocket's going to connect with Matumbo Man. With the arrow, they're going to clean up the Shadow Demon, or the Lion with ease, I should say. Anti-Mage. Volix is here, but he doesn't have level 6 quite yet. God, what would we do for level 6 right now? Sing Sing on the run. He only has just regular boots. So does Legion Commander, though.
It's going to be fine.
Yeah, he's going to be... I think he's going to be fine. Boy, if he had level 6, that would have been an easy kill. But unfortunately for him, Magnus is out-leveling him by 1 level. 1 full level, in fact. Just about.
Yeah, Arise is crushing him in lane. Which... He also got a little bit of help in the start, right? They kind of intimidated Legion Commander by going missing with the support's bottom. So he couldn't play the lane freely. And they also forced a TP from Abaddon to save him in mid. So he did get crippled quite a bit. So it makes sense that Arise is ahead in this lane. But still, maybe they got a little bit more than he should be. And that's just the play we saw there. It's just so classic. Oh. So Pycat reaches level 6 and they instantly go bottom. Like, there was almost no delay between him getting Wrath of Nature, I believe, until they went in. And that means the enemy team don't even have time to be ready for it. I don't think they accounted for the Wrath of Nature, at least I didn't, when I said, this is getting interesting, this fight. That fight was over the moment Pycat ultied. So, gonna see more of that.
That's the reason I'm excited to see Pycat play Nature's... It's not very often I'm excited for anybody to play Nature's Prophet, but the way he plays is very aggressive. I mean, later stages of the game, you obviously want to split push and whatnot, and that's when it becomes kind of the same as everybody else, but he doesn't just farm in the beginning stages of the game, which I'm a huge fan of, obviously. We have some support up top. In fact, 4 hero. Arise is thinking about it, has the DD activated. Can they kill Trixie? They have RP available. It's going to bottle up. TP support is here for Trixie, though. Actually gets canceled. Who was that? Was that Jarrett?
At this rate, Boogie's gonna get starved. He keeps porting around, and he doesn't get any farm or any assist. He doesn't have boots yet, 8 minutes in on the Abaddon. That might not sound like the biggest deal, but this is a hero who's really dependent on being in the right place at the right time. And that extra movement speed often makes a very big difference, so... I think they need to secure him boots now. He's level 5 though, which is pretty good, so that's the good news.
Yeah, he's getting decent levels, and that's not always the case, obviously. Lion, super fast Lion, level 4. We've been seeing a lot of Lions get a decent farm, which is not something I'm totally used to seeing, but if you have that Blink Hex pretty much instant initiation. It's really nice. Sing Sing gets stuck in. No, he's invisible thanks to the Moonlight Shadow, and they
Look
have
at that juke.
absolutely
He's
no
just standing
vision.
still.
Next level juke's
Oh.
coming the wave.
It's
Oh,
actually
Boogie's
gonna
find
fail
with
now.
that sentry. Yeah, he's not gonna get out of this. He's gonna try to kill a ward. Gets 50 gold for his troubles, but will fall shortly after. In fact, they're gonna wait for Volix to get that ult off, and he does. So that's the first duel won for him. Nicely done.
Best trade.
Worth horse.
got a ward for a duel and a kill. Great trade.
better
I
than
wonder.
nothing.
I honestly think he could have got out when they Mirana
Oh yeah,
ultied.
for sure.
If he just
Well,
ran, I think it would have been fine.
He probably assumed there was a sentry somewhere on his path, but
But
he
he should know there was none over here because they have a sentry themselves, right? So if there was one on the ground here, he would see it already. So he could have
Yeah,
tried
that's
to run
true.
for that. But yeah, you know. At the end of the day, I think it was a really cool play just standing still because almost everyone will just start scouting for him in other places and try to put the sentry on his path back.
But it was
like
countered
4ASC
because
were
they
ready.
walked up to his spot. You know, big counter coming out from 4ASC.
Yeah.
Huge counterplay potential, guys. Remember, everything's counterable in Dota 2, especially standing still.
And Oracle.
Yeah, Oracle counters everybody. That hero, man. Okay, we don't really get into that. Jesus. Sing
Oh.
Sing's gonna be going for this bottom rune. Volix, he's scared off by this level 3 gyrocopter, who picks up a double damage, so he's not hitting too poorly at the moment as a result.
is
But
really good
Pycat's
map
going
control.
for an early Orchid, by the way. It's gonna be great against AM until he
Yep.
has that Manta, of course.
Trixie's so dead if he doesn't port now. Okay.
Yeah, Rise Blink being shown. RP skewer into the tower. Right clicks from Pycat. He's gonna TP out. Do they have enough damage? They do not.
Okay.
Wow.
He should have been super dead, but then Arise didn't want to wait for Bulba. It's like,
Yeah.
come on, let's just get him. And they
Big
do end up paying.
mistakes.
That
Big
was-
juicy mistakes.
That was a little costly because there was no way Trixie got out of that. The moment Magnus is there already, they can just wait, right? Because if Trixie tries to TP earlier against the prop, you
Bulba.
just blink RP.
Impale. Oh god, the finger just feels so good. Puts the finger on its skin. Finger replaces lotion, by the way. Volix.
You can't
gonna get
see my
homing
face
missile.
right now, but you can imagine it.
I can imagine the troll face. Not your name, the actual word troll.
Aha.
Heh, heh. Volix has treads, bottle. I guess blink is probably the first order of business. I guess if you don't farm well, what do you go for? I mean, he's farming. He's gonna get
On
his
Legion?
blink soon now at this point. Do you go blade mail before blink at any ever? Do you ever do that?
Well, I think it's extremely rare you would do that, but one of the players playing a lot of Legion Commander, Bone7, I think, has done it a couple of times, and that hasn't even been when he farmed poorly. I think it's a matter of, do you have someone else to initiate? Because if someone else can set you up, you don't necessarily need the blink, and then the blade mail can be really valuable if you get the duel off. But if you're supposed to be the main initiator and the one starting the fights, going for a blade mail isn't really going to help your cause much. You're just going to get kited or controlled anyway. So, I think in this game, he needs the blink. They have a Lion, but he will definitely not be getting one, and no one else will be able to initiate for this 4ASC team.
Hood is now the pickup here for Trixie on the Bristleback. What are your thoughts on Hood this game? We're gonna have to blink skewer onto Volix, who's gonna try to heal himself up, and then Pale in for Jerax as well. The missile will eventually connect. Pycat's here. He might actually get destroyed. He does to the duel. Wrong place at the wrong time. Very low. Moonlight Shadow. Do they have vision? Sing Sing on the run. One more right click will do it. Here's the RP though. It's on a single Jerax. He's gonna clean up Lion. Pretty much no problem. It's a 2-for-1 buyback from Gyrocopter. TP's back and it's taking him forever. Finally finds his way there. Tries to get as much damage as possible on Trixie, but that just activates the Quill Spray left, right, and center. So it's a 3-for-1. Just super surprising. Here's the skewer on the Trixie. Do they actually have enough damage to finally take out Trixie? No, because the Aphotic Shield is there, but the arrow connects on Boogie. Trixie still trying to do as much damage as possible. They're going to get the Aphotic Shielding Abaddon dead, but Trixie somehow, in the middle of all this, still lives. Freaking ridiculous hero.
The really ridiculous survival there was from Volix. He was standing still and Magnus missed the shockwave because of that. That was like the Sing Sing strat, just in a good way.
That's the op strat we were talking about last time.
That's so good.
It's tough to hit those, man.
Yeah. Oh my god,
Uh-oh,
then I missed
Jerax.
because he's bad. Well,
Fingers up in 2 seconds. Bulba If you get impaled, you're dead.
Yep.
And he could just walk right in. AM doesn't want to scare him off too much. Okay, now we're gonna have TP support. So Jarek's lost his window of opportunity.
Really
He's gonna scout this out. The sheep though on a rise before the blink. The arrow's gonna connect on Mutombo, man. Here comes Trixie trying to do as much damage as possible. He takes the soul catch on the face. There's the finger of death. It's gonna be a trade, a 1-for-1. Marana for Lion. Let's take the any day of the week. Trixie now continuing the pressure. Bulba's dead, which means Arise is now on the run. Although there's somebody coming in. Who is that? Pycat didn't choose to TP. I guess his TP's on cooldown. But he's not doing enough damage to really make any difference at this point. Needs to farm up a bit more. Trixie seems to be going for a Drum of Endurance on Bristleback. I don't really see that too often. Oh, he's going to be found by Trixie. And here's the Aphotic Shield. Going to work. It's actually just going to activate to the Gyrocopter. And that's not good. So 9-5 advantage for 4ASC. They get a tower as well. Well, they eventually
They're getting a
will.
lot out of this Bristleback right now. It's
Pycat mid. Oh, one more right click's gonna do it. And 4AC getting some great trades. Trixie actually finally might die. Am I saying this too soon? Is this too soon? I think so. The Aphotic Shield, everything being used.
This Hood
Magnus
is doing so much work.
low.
It's incredible, this game. There's no real physical damage output yet for Team Tinker. They're all about the magic. And then you have Trixie with that magic resistance. He gets the heal from Legion Commander, and he gets Aphotic Shield and heal from Abaddon. This Bristleback is almost impossible to kill. And Tinker, they keep trying, and it basically gets them killed every time. So I think they need to be careful. They've also opened up the map a bit. The Anti-Mage that they shut down now almost has the Battle Fury. He is, let's see, what's that, 400 gold short? That's going to be like a 17-minute one, considering how they first blooded him, and at least started out with an aggressive prowling.
Mid lane Sing gets dueled. The arrow's just a tad too late. EGM gets a nice Starstorm off, but Boogie's always there, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, never mind. Skewer. Skewer at the last second. They get a trade, but obviously the damage coming through for Legion Commander. He's at plus 30 at the moment. That's 3 successful level 1 duels. And now that Pycat has the... I mean, this is the thing to think about. You're talking about they don't have a lot of physical damage. Pycat has opportunity to do that, but he goes for Orchid, which I'm fine with, but they have to get kills on AM before he gets his Manta. Otherwise, this is a huge waste. Because he could just go for a quick Deso, something for more physical DPS. But then they have no lockdown for AM.
Yeah, the problem they have now with how they chose to put their farm, with Marana farming the bot lane, who, by the way, kind of stopped farming after a while, is that there's an AM, and their best counter pick, if you will, in terms of shutting him down in mid-game, I want to say is Prophet/Gyro. Gyro can quickly kill the Manta Illusions with Flak Cannon. He's got pretty heavy single target. Like, even if you have Spell Shield up, it still does make a difference that Gyro has Call Down and the Rocket Barrage. But they're playing him as a support. So
Trixie?
Oh,
the RP was actually popped! Completely misses, and Trixie now on the run. Disruption. Finger of Death is going to go towards Bulba. He's at half HP at the moment. They're going to kill Gyro right off the bat. Make that a second duel in the last minute one for Volix. And now Team Tinker is on the defensive. Lion looking for a kill, but already used Finger of Death. And he's getting closer and closer to that elusive Blink Dagger. And once he gets that, that is disgusting for 4ASC. They're going to clean up this tier 1 tower top.
Yeah, this
They've created so much space for AM.
It looks like the biggest enemy of Team Tinker right now is their own desire to kill Bristleback. It just keeps failing. And I mean, at this point, you should just stop trying, right? You've lost so many heroes to keeping on going on Bristleback, and if they try again now, they're just gonna die again.
Oh, Rise has a skewer, of course. No RP to work with. Volix getting extremely low, but there's a Aphotic Shield and the Mist Coil from Abaddon. God, you cannot get away from him. There's the Orchid coming to play for Pycat. Another Mist Coil, though. Pycat trying to get the kill as much as he can do. Can he actually finish him off? No! He's just forced to TP out. His call down was used to take out the poor little Magnus. And after all that, they lose Magnus. Marana extremely low. Arrow will not connect. And that'll be the end of it. And all this while, Mutombo man just pushes bottom. He's like, okay, thanks, bro. I'm just gonna take this casual Ring of Regen that I have for some reason and just push this bottom.
Gonna turn into Vlad's, I think.
Yeah, eventually a Vlad's, I suppose.
Good Orchid.
Yeah, Orchid. Mutombo man, wagging his finger at himself at this point from the grave.
They need to do this.
Try to get a trade.
3 times more. Like, kind of have to do it right away, because if he... Oh, let me see. No, he's going Manta directly. I like this a lot instead of getting the Vlads because of the Orchid, right? Else, there's many cases where AMs can get away with going the Manta into Vlad's build, but at this point in time, he needs to realize he needs to itemize against Nature's Prophet, who is the only real threat now, apart from maybe an RP. So Manta is definitely the #1 choice.
So answer me this: in this game, Nature's Prophet, does he go Sheepstick after? Now that he has the Orchid, does he go Sheepstick or does he start going physical DPS? Like
this is a hard game to call that in, because when you look at the Dire lineup, I would say Hex. But when you look at how they put their farm and how the game is developing, Pycat is the only one getting farm. Like, the other heroes are very far behind what I would say would be par at 20 minutes. Your Trial Lane Carry at this point should have at least 100 CS. Your mid laner would probably like to have a little bit more than Magnus has, but he's been mobile and he doesn't need the farm as much, so I guess it's okay. But I don't know. I feel like the problem right now for Tinker is Pycat needs to do way too much at once. He has to get the control for AM, because else when he has Manta, they probably won't be able to deal with him. He needs to hit hard.
Yeah, when you look at their lineup just on paper, you're like, okay, well, they have a lot of late game potential with Nature's Prophet, Mirana, and Gyro, but Gyro's a support, Mirana's not getting farm, Nature's Prophet went for more of a utility build, which is understandable in this game, but will it backfire is the question.
I still want to say Hex first, to be honest. His gold income right now is gonna allow him to get it probably at 25 or 26, and then he needs to get damage after. And the good news for Pycat in this game is that the BKB is not an absolute necessity against the Radiant lineup. There's a Lion who's a problem, but apart from that, it doesn't really give him much value. So maybe he can skip BKB and go really hard on the damage, or just play full split push and go for a Necro 3 right now and try to disallow 4ASC from even taking fights. That's an alternative strategy, but knowing Pycat is probably the fighting build he's looking for. So I think
a BKB, yeah, I don't think a BKB is good. I mean, think about the initiation possibilities. So you have Legion Commander who can jump in, and obviously the duel goes through BKB. Lion, his Hex is immediate, so now that he has that Blink Dagger, he can get instant initiation before he can even pop BKB. So, if anything, a Linken's, but I really don't see that happening. If you go Linken's, you're just postponing the rest of your items, which are more important at this point than you living, honestly.
Yeah, getting Linken's now would be a big mistake. I'm almost 100% sure that's not his choice. I think it's between Hex and Deso, I want to say, for Pycat. Or a Shadow Blade. That would also be an interesting choice, and just split push, try to find pickoffs on your own using the Shadow Blade.
I mean, if they see that Jerax has a Blink Dagger, that's an easy kill with Shadow Blade, right? Shadow Blade, Orchid, that's a 1v1.
But that's also an easy kill with Hex. It kind of doesn't matter what.
Yeah, that's true. Well, but you have to be able to get in position, though.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, he could also get a Blink, but I think that's too greedy now on the Prophet. I think he needs to give something that actually deals damage or controls rather than something that only benefits himself. Tough choice. Well, our Eyes is having some problems, unfortunately. Not sure what's going on, but...
Typical.
We've been talking a lot about Pycat now. Let's look at 4ASC's progress. So for Anti-Mage, we kind of covered it. It's Manta next, and from then on out, probably a Heart next, or a BKB if he thinks that's worth it. It's decent against the Dire lineup. Trixie is getting really big. I think he has the highest net worth in the game, yeah. He has Hood, Drum. Do you think... I mean, I think this is a good pipe game. If they get a pipe, they can probably take all the tier 2s.
It's not a ridiculous amount of magic damage, but it's enough that it actually makes a difference, so...
It's quite a lot, right? Not? Shockwave, Skewer, RP, Call Down, Rocket Barrage.
Well, it takes off...
Starstorm, Prophet Ult.
Shockwave is like 300 damage, right? So that's basically
225.
Tanks that bad boy, plus a little bit more.
After reduction.
Yeah, I mean, we've already seen the Hood come to play for him. He's lived as a result of that. I mean, that, in addition to having Abaddon on your team, and even Legion Commander with the Press the Attack, so very difficult to kill. They haven't had to use almost any of that on AM at any point in this game.
I think a really interesting strategy for 4AC could be to get a mech and a pipe now, and just play without AM. So... The mech and pipe of the 4 others will allow them to take fights 4 on 5, I think, and AM will just absolutely free farm. And he can join if he needs to, but we've seen the way the game has developed so far, they haven't really needed AM to participate. He's got 2 kills, but that was earlier. It's mainly just the Abaddon and Trixie in the front lines together with the Press the Attack that's doing a lot of work, and then Lion getting pickoffs whenever he can. So if they build around playing with those four, I don't want to call it necessarily a 4 protect one. It's more of a 4 people...
4 ignore one. Yeah.
4 ignore one.
That's basically 4 protect.
That's one approach. I think it could be cool, and it could work in this game, but the alternative is just that they all play the anti-mage game together, and instead of trying to fight, they just buy time. Instead of buying time by fighting, they can buy time by map controlling.
God, how annoying is the Aphotic Shield. You get rocketed, or homing missile, I should say, and then unstunned immediately. Call down's going to be used to clear this wave, so this tier 1 tower seems to be alive for another wave or two, if nothing else. And again, it happens. The Aphotic Shield. So, just a little update for you guys that aren't aware. The ARDM voting for the All-Star match is now up in the compendium. So if you have a compendium, go vote as PyCat destroys the courier. What was on that? Not 225 worth. Let's see. Just a Quelling Blade, so no biggie. Pretty sure they can live without that for a few minutes. You open your compendium, take a vote. Each team will have one respective member participating in the All-Star match with 2 wildcards. And of course it is an ARDM best of 3 with 1% of the prize pool going away with the players that win. And the tier 1 tower is taken out with ease. And it's gonna be a Maelstrom. That's actually really so split push.
Yeah, that's what I said to. Because that was not an item I would have considered PyCat getting here. Cause, oh boy, they're gonna get someone big time. But it makes a lot of sense if they buy enough time, because this is going to skyrocket his farm. He can, if they execute this well enough, as we have a kill in mid as well. I think this is...
Boy, I've missed 2 kills right in a row, thanks to syndereN, guys.
Yeah, you're welcome.
All your fault.
But
just so enthralled with what you're saying.
If they manage to buy time, I like this Maelstrom a lot. I was actually considering mentioning Midas, but I thought that's out of the question. He's not going to get a Midas now. Maelstrom, however, is a little bit of a hybrid. It gives good farming speed, but also allows them to take fights as Trixie. Oh my god, look at him not... They don't even tickle him.
Well, the Soul Catcher would have helped a bit, but wouldn't have been enough for a kill regardless, yeah, for sure. PyCat,
no
TP out as well. Just stop going for him, bro. Just stop it. Just ignore him.
Yeah, really. Well, the Maelstrom, not so good for killing AM. It's okay, especially since Matumba only has 1 point in Spell Shield so far, so it still does somewhat decent damage. But it's more the fact that it's a hybrid. So farming, fighting are currently available for PyCat, and if this game goes the way Team Tinker wanted to, this is going to pay for itself in a while. It doesn't give immediate power right now against the AM, but if they can get 1 or 2 more ganks like that, he might have a Hex even before the Manta comes out, so it could be interesting.
We'll see. They've only killed him once, right? Since the Orchid pickup.
Yes. But if they start taking control of the Radiant Jungle, that is going to give more than 1 kill.
Yeah, that's true. He's still a decent ways away from finishing that bad boy off, but they still need to find him one way or another. And right now he's 3rd on the charts for net worth. His buddy, just ahead of him in Trixie, who went for Assange, so could be an SNY, which we've been seeing a lot lately. It could be Halberd, which it's not that good right now because nobody's really right-clicking very hard, but later in the game it could be useful. And obviously the evasion comes into play for Bristleback. Makes him even tougher to kill. Basically has a huge sign on him saying, just don't bother attacking. Just don't bother. Do you think it is SNY though? It's like the item of this captain's draft, I feel. As they're going to have a connection. Oh, the smoke's going to be found, Boogie. Oh, Bulba gets dueled. Is this enough to take him out? But the RP, okay, the finger's there to take it out. There we go. Volix getting some extra damage, but he gets skewered into the wrong place. So it ends up being a 1-for-1. Not exactly what 4SC was looking for, but at least they get some damage out of that. So 68 plus.
This LC is starting to get a lot of damage. So if she gets a defensive item, she can start doing a lot of work. Oh, Trixie. Here we go.
RP is still available. Do they actually want to go for him again? Sing Sing basically damaging himself at this point. A beautiful double impale, even on the invisible Arise that they don't even see. They do finally take out Sing Sing. EGM now the target of choice. RP is available. He's just going to abandon his teammate. I guess I can't blame him in this case. And that's a double kill going the way of Trixie. Arise, he's going to be found. The blink, impale. Arise can just skewer. He's going to skewer Lion with him, though. Doesn't have any disables to work with, so Arise will TP out in the midst of things. Meanwhile, PyCat was looking for a kill. Used the Orchid And I'm guessing it was on anti-mage, but not enough to take him out, obviously. And he's only like 700 away from finishing Manta, so the Orchid becomes almost irrelevant.
This is looking very good now for 4ASC. Not just because they're ahead on kills and have been taking as many towers as Tinker have, but or actually even one more tower than Tinker. It's just the way the game plan is progressing at this point, that AM got the farm he needed. Tinker don't really have a good scaling carry in how they chose to run their lanes, at least not how much they farmed. And Anti-Mage is getting a lot of farm together with Bristleback just being an absolute pain. Oh, Pycat? Oh, there's an instant call.
God, that ult does nothing. Oh, he's gonna cancel the TP. Matoma better be careful. Pycat does a decent amount of damage. Has the blink available to him though. He might come back in for the kill if Jarex can catch up. Blink Dagger's off in 8 seconds though. So we'll see if that actually happens. Blink Dagger. He's just gonna right click. He's gonna get silenced and sprouted. And here comes Bulba to help save the day. Jerax gets blown up. Disruption used defensively. Into a skewer from Jerax. Into an RP even. And the Soul Catcher. This is a lot of damage. Not even a Photic Shield can save you in this case. Speaking of a Photic Shield, the guy that holds it gets arrowed in the face. His ultimate pops. They're not going to do any damage to him. And take him out very shortly. So really nice turnaround here from Team Tinker. Exactly what they needed. But now the AM has the Manta.
And Jerax got so greedy for that Prophet kill. I mean, when it's been so long in an engagement like that, you know the enemy team is reinforcing. He might not have considered the fact that Pycat could have Orchid ready again, but on an 18-second cooldown in such a long fight, that's going to be available one more time. And after that, they then throw a couple of bodies at Tinker. This is a huge mistake. It's going to cost them 3 heroes and a Roche. Pycat now finishing a full Mjolnir and Aegis now. Wow, that must have been a couple of thousand swing right there from one mistake. Trixie, they're pinging him. No.
Well, we're going to see. Orchid comes to play into a skewer. The ult from Bulba. Call down. The arrow will finish him off. 600 gold going the way of Nature's Prophet. Not that he needs extra money at this point.
Absolutely no backup. They got him. There's no tier 1 tower. Trixie was out on his own. Surprised he stayed there after Roshan died. He kind of knows they're probably moving at that point.
Well, now he should know that he's definitely killable. The SNY, not the tankiest of items. It's kind of like a utility. Gives you a little bit of everything, but not a lot of anything, if that makes sense.
Arrow? Oh, nice try from me, Jim. Don't think they could have followed up, though.
Now that we've seen the SNY in action here, what do you think of it?
I don't think that really does the item justice. But
of course. Still, it's...
Yeah, it was an awful pickup. He should have got 3 hearts, then he would have lived through them.
Oh god, Jerax, goodbye. Oh my god. Well, Pycat's doing a lot of damage now, so he picks up an ultimate orb. This could be the Sheep Stick, could even be a Scotty, or even a Manta. I mean, I wouldn't... All of those have their own play.
Oh, Matoma. Oh, the Hex is better than the 2 other items combined right now, so... I'd be shocked if he doesn't get that.
Yeah, I agree. Sing Sing doing the patented 3 bracer strat, which we've been seeing a lot lately. Matoma Man gets RP'd into an Orchid, trying to do as much magic damage as possible, but the Aphotic Shield takes off the debuff right away. And now 4AC goes on the offensive. Arise! Okay, well, Matoma Man tanks that arrow pretty nicely. Doesn't get his Mana Void up, but they're going to find the kill regardless of the fact.
Did they have vision of... They saw Abaddon when they went for that kill, right? When they went for the RP. They knew Boogie was there. So, a little bit of a mistake from Pycat going for the Orchid here onto the AM. He needs to find the Abaddon and Orchid him. Then I think they would have killed AM. And instead, it's just so incredibly easy. They counter an RP and an Orchid with one Aphotic Shield cast, and Matoma can just go to town. So, and talking about an expensive play from 4AC.
Oh boy, Pycat. Beautiful disruption from Bulba is going to save him. Is it going to be enough? In fact, the damage... No, nobody wins the duel. Okay. But Team Tinker does take out 2 with relative ease. They do lose the tier 2 in the meantime, though, so it's a trade of sorts. Of course, Pycat had the Aegis the whole time, so that was questionable. What do you
think about Sing Sing's item build? I think he needs a bracer.
I already mentioned this. God, you suck.
He needs another bracer.
I said he's going for the patented Sing Sing triple bracer build.
Oh, you said that. Yeah, now that you say it, I actually remember you said that.
You just hold it in your memory banks. You don't actually actively listen. You just save it for later. It's like a replay, right? DVR.
I kind of disregarded it. Now it's cool though.
Okay. What's he going for with his chainmail?
I think it's a blade mail. just in your face,
Blade
go in,
mail?
try to tank up some damage.
I
Alternatively,
don't
he
like
could get a
that at all.
medallion, but then he would have bought it already. What else? AC first? Yeah, it's a blade mail. There we go.
How good is that this game?
I don't know. Like,
They don't have a
how
lot
good
of
is
AoE.
anything on a support gyro 30 minutes in if you don't get any farm?
How good is the support gyro in general? Real question.
Pretty good.
Honestly,
if it gets to
now
scale.
now tell me what you think about this. What do you think about Aghanims on him this game? If you're gonna be playing support gyro, you might as well go some utility there. I don't know.
Well, then I just.
Alright, it's gonna be found out. The sheep is here. They're gonna blow him up before even the sentry's placed actually. So the Moonlight Shadow means nothing. So we're gonna have a potential fight here. Pycat underneath the tier 1 top might be able to help out a bit, but nothing's gonna be found, and this is gonna break up, I do believe. Yeah, what do you think about Aghanims on gyro in general?
I think it's one of the weakest Aghanims in the game.
I kind of disagree. It's situational. It's not great, obviously.
It's extremely situational. Yes, in this game, perhaps because you have a Prophet, you can set up global ganks and do it, but you need to consider which direction this game is heading in. At some point, 4ASC are going to start pushing and team fighting. Then your Ags kind of does nothing. Whereas
yeah, but
another
you could say the same
4200
thing about your
item-
bracers, though, you know?
No, but they've given him value until now, right? He's been
Sure.
able to commit a bit more and tank up some more damage. Even if you still die, the fact that you need to be hit 3 more times can make a difference. The Ags gives him that, so there is of course the stats, but the upgrade itself is not really that valuable. If you want to compare it, consider this. He could get a Halberd instead, which makes him as tanky, and gives them a disarm against Bristle, or AM. I mean,
Yeah, I think the help.
to me that's a lot more valuable in this game than the Ags.
Still don't like the blade mail. Blade mail's gonna end up like saving his life. Just watch. If he can get it off before like the duel or something like that, then
pretty
obviously
cool.
it'd be really good. But need some quick fingers. I guess if anybody can do it, Sing.
I don't know if
Yeah.
Valix even wants to duel him though. It's a support gyro. If you're looking for bigger fish, if you can.
Yeah, probably. Sometimes you don't have a choice though. You know, you take what you can get.
Yeah.
She's not a picky woman. Spycat's gonna sprout himself to protect against this tomato potato. And we'll take it out with ease. Jerax.
He has money
Haven't
for
really
Hex
seen
now.
a lot of blink initiations so far from him. A little bit more passive than I like to see on a lion that picks up an early blink dagger. Do they have vision? They could just blow up Sing right now. Oh, actually no. Finger of Death on cooldown. In fact, it's a level 1 Finger of Death. Wow. Didn't just realize that. There's the blink hex EGM. He's dead. Okie dokie. And here we have the initiation. Continues here. Nice. Purge onto Trixie's gonna slow him. Pycat's just gonna TP up, but the duel is there for Sing. He talked about
Why would he duel gyro?
he talked about you'd never dual dot gyro. Well, he just did. The BKB by Anti-Mage, that is the 10-second charge, I believe. So he's going for the battle build. He wants to fight now.
That was definitely worth it for that situation. I think what Matumba is realizing is that the Dire side don't have hard physical damage. Prophet still doesn't hit that hard. Sure, he's getting Empower and... Well, might have to reconsider my statement. He's hitting for 300 after all. But when AM isn't BKB, I still don't think he's gonna die. Because it's only Prophet, right? What does Mirana do? Desolator? Is she even going to be able to hit as long as Trixie runs in front? He just needs to avoid getting controlled too hard by the magic damage and combination and getting stuff. So, I think it's okay. In a way, the heart could have maybe been better in this case because of Abaddon and Legion Commander helping out, but this allows him to take skirmishes on his own, in a way, and it also might protect him a little bit better from ganks when the others aren't around, so he can play with more confidence. So I guess
Pycat
it's
does
okay.
a lot of magic damage at this point.
Yeah.
And BKB with Spell Shield on top of that, not the greatest counter to the Anti-Mage. Anti-Mage is built quite well to combat that, obviously, with BKB. But keep in mind, even Bristleback has a hood. Probably could go for a pipe at some point if he really wants to. But I do have to say that the Maelstrom or the Mjolnir has paid off as far as farming is concerned. Pycat's basically skyrocketed.
Yeah, he's
now
keeping up
second
with an
place.
AM, which is pretty impressive. He's 70 CS behind, but his kill death score is helping him out a lot. 5, 2, and 8. Well, for me, this game now it's kind of 4ASC are cruising unless they run into some really good RPs. And Arise's refresher is how far away? That's about 2k. But it's definitely within the reach. And I think he's going to get it before the game ends, even if 4ASC play well from here on out and might take a lane of Rex, it's still possible to make a comeback on the back of double RP. But we're talking so much about AM, and to be honest with you, he's not really the only problem late game, right? There's a Bristle and a Legion Commander who are also fighting farm.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of work to do.
Speaking of
I
LC,
would have loved to see SUNSfan farm,
BKB.
actually.
So definite battle builds coming out from most of the carries. Shiva's now on Trixie.
They're not catching up. So what I'm trying to get at with SingSing is something we've seen Alliance do in the past when they've actually played support Gyro a couple of times in CM in the past on Ake. And what they would do is they would play him like SingSing has played the early game, and then toward the mid game they start giving him some sort of farm priority. They stack up for him who farms the jungle, and then he suddenly gets an MKB and maybe a rapier. It could have been a choice. Oh
wow. They could have made a lot, or Anti-Mage does at least, as Valix is going to use his ult to take out Nature's Prophet by himself. But still, a lot was wasted from a Tumble Man. RP's still online.
He got help
going to blink out at least for now. No, that's true.
I don't think he can solo.
Product Shield takes off the stun from Tumble Man. They want to go in here. Trixie pops the Shivas. Doesn't go too deep, however. The Tumble Man really wants to fight. We can't fight against his backdoor protection, unfortunately for him. Nature's Prophet down for another 47 seconds. No buyback, it seems. Yeah, no buyback for sure. Product Shield, where are you? There you are. Takes it off pretty much immediately. Legion Commander. Ult is off cooldown in 10 seconds, so it could just reinitiate if he really wants, but they're going to be happy with the tier 2, which gets fortified. Bulba somehow at bottom lane. Pushing. Basically pulling a Nature's Prophet as much as he can. And another 20 seconds. They want to force the buyback, but at this point they must know that he doesn't have one. Although he wouldn't necessarily.
I think he would have held it.
Yeah, that's what I'm
thinking. I actually
thinking.
think he would have held it, but they're also not in a position to force it right now. It's a too high risk, low reward kind of play, because the chance that they get a lane of Rax is really low, and even if they get the tier 3 and lose a fight for it, not really worth it when you're dominating the game. So, I like the back call, and just get some more farm on the AM. He has Abyssal now if he wants to buy it. Never mind, he missed that last hit. He missed 20 gold. But
get wrecked.
He'll be fine. Oh,
Cat. He's going for MKB, unless he wants to go a basher of his own, which I would love to see on a range hero, absolutely. Don't think that's happening though. Look at the extra damage coming from the power. That is sick. Moonlight Shadow. Do they see? They do not. They're gonna try to gank. This could be a pretty big kill. Who do they want to go for though? The Sheep on the Tumble Man. The Sprout on Valix. As my number 2 key comes off my keyboard. This is a big mistake. RP comes in on 2. Valix getting extremely low. But Tumble Man. He blinked TPs with BKB and he will live to see another day. Man, it is super just stressful when this number 2 key comes off my keyboard in the middle of a team fight. I tell you what.
What are you using the 2 key for?
It's just the way I hold it. It's not the keyboard's fault either. I think it's my hand. I like rip it off every time. I don't know why.
That does not make sense.
Oh my god! He
wow.
might have gotten that kill with the Shivas with a nice 4-staff, double 4-staff in fact. As AM is going to work on Shadow Demon, is going to take him out pretty easily. Do they actually have? I don't know if they can go for Roche here. I guess maybe they can. Shadow Demon's dead for 50 seconds. No RP, as you said. Arrow's going to scout it out. They're a little bit scared. Trixie doesn't have a whole lot of mana. Obviously, he has a lot of capabilities to lower the armor of Roshan, but you need a little bit of mana for that. He's going to tank it up. Has the double damage. All right, they're committing now. EGM. Arrow will hit Trixie. I don't know though. This is gonna be no, they're giving it up. So Aegis will go the way of AM, and that's a 5-minute timetable that you probably can't kill him. You barely could kill him before. In fact, they couldn't kill him in the last engagement. But they did force out like the BKB TP, so that was certainly worth it in the end. He has Abyssal Blade, by the way. He finishes it completely. 7-second BKB on him. He's looking pretty damn good. Who's his first target? I'm guessing Nature's Prophet or Marana. Magnus, or if you can get really Magnus before his RP. Hard. Yeah.
And that even no matter who he goes on with the Abyssal, if Shadow Demon is quick, they can make a counterplay. So it's not a guaranteed kill. There's many games where you're like, oh, if I hit my Abyssal and use my Manta, I kind of have a kill. Nothing is given for him right now. Do take the tier 2 though, so now all the towers are down for Team Tinker outside of their base. I'm not sure how far behind Tinker really are, even if you look at the graphs, because it just feels like if they're able to keep split pushing and 4ASC don't get to do the fight they're looking for, if they can delay until the Aegis expires on AM and they get 2 good RPs, which are 100 gold away, I definitely think it's possible for Tinker to make a full-on comeback in this game. And I don't think the graphs show how close this game is.
Alright, I want to talk about something, but we might have action here. Yules? Was that a self-Yules online? Yes, it was. Why did he hold that level 2 ult until level 15?
He didn't feel like he had the mana pool.
He didn't have the Yules at that point.
No. I still think he probably should have got it, even though he would have had
That's not usual though, right?
No, it was a trend that used to happen sometimes, I want to say mainly in Dota 1. But leveling it is just so damn good. Like, cooldown reduction is the main part of why you level it up. It's a full minute you cut off every time, which is huge. And I think he should have gone for that, even if it means he might have to buy, for example, a casual null talisman or something like that to have enough mana. I still think that's worth it. But he chose against it. It hasn't really shown to be a problem, though.
Arise has that refresher that we talked about, and I'm pretty sure 4AC just saw it, but we'll see soon enough. Trixie trying to bait something in. Boots of Travel now on Anti-Mage, by the way, so he can get anywhere he wants at any point. Moonlight Shadow. 4AC seems to know what the hell is going on, though. TP support, I believe that is Anti-Mage. Trixie's going to pop his Shivas. Basically applied to the creeps if nothing else. Soulcatcher already used. Matumbo Man looking for the kill. Was that an Abyssal Blade? I don't think so. No, the Abyssal Blade is now on, like, Valix gets Sing Sing in his midst, but he's not doing any damage. Can they take him out before? Nope, Duel's not going this way, but they do get the kill, which is probably more important at this point. EGM gets blown up to the level 2 Finger of Death. That is 2 dead for Team Tinker. 4AC could probably push a bit if they really want. Was that a Ghost Scepter? Oh, okay, that's what it was, yeah. Ghost Scepter by, now that's a good pickup. Ghost Scepter in addition to the Blade Mail.
Yeah, as long as you don't use them at the same time, then it's not that good.
Well, against the Finger of Death, maybe.
Yeah.
Could be pretty good. His RP is going to be used on Trixie. TP coming in. Do they want to use the second RP just for him? We'll see. He has Soulcatcher applied to him. Looks to be dead one way or another, and he is. The rest of his team, though, focusing on the objective-based gaming. Freaking Trixie, man. Gem on Shadow.
He bought them some time there.
And going to get to tier 3.
They can get more. There's still Aegis on AM. This is probably a lane.
The Aegis
I'd be surprised if they back out.
Nature's Prophet goes for the battle build as well.
He has it for another minute. Wow, are they just gonna forfeit that?
Discipline Gaming. Yeah, that's
I kind of only want to call it disciplined if it's the right choice. And I'm not sure I agree this time. He knows there's an RP used. If he blink Abyssal's Shadow Demon, they have to RP him, or Shadow Demon dies, and then they just snowball from there in the fight. And if they RP him, he has Aegis. Now they're not going to use the Aegis. Oh, he found Pycat.
Oh my goodness! Pycat pops the BKB. That's a 10-second bad boy right there, I tell you what.
Not that useful.
Well, it might have been one of those things where he popped it, and then he got bashed before it actually went off. And then it continued the cast afterwards. Not sure if that's the case for BKB or not. In fact, it's an item, so probably not. It's usually because of cast animation and stuff.
Not 100%.
Yeah, definitely a waste. EGM has a Hyperstone, by the way. So probably going for Assault. Should be really nice to have, obviously. Boots of Travel now on Trixie. He is super duper fast. Let's see. He's basically 500 move speed with only 1 stack of Warpath. Let's see. 517. So 1 more will make him max speed if he really wants to do so. And there he is. A max speed Bristleback. That is very scary. EGM going to be forced back. Smoke now still applied to 2 of the members from Team Tinker. They want to try to bait this out, but do they really want to bait this out? Nature's Prophet dead for another 20 seconds. No buyback on him, Trixie. God, it's so disgusting how many things they can take off. How many stuns they can take off so easily. RP. Is it up? Indeed, it's a double RP in fact. And that's what 4AC needs to worry about. Anti-Mage doesn't have the Aegis anymore, as he talked about. Went for Eagle Song. This is very questionable, by the way. He knows that Nature's Prophet is going for an MKB, but he still goes Butterfly.
I still think it's a good choice, though. It's even if they have the Hex and the MKB against him, it's such a good damage item on AM. The Manta-style illusions benefit from the agility. The attack speed and damage on him is huge, and even if he doesn't have evasion against Prophet, he has it against the Mirana, who has a Desolator. He has it against the Gyro. Well, it doesn't really matter too much, I guess, but he even has it against his own Disruption illusions. I still think it was the best item he could have got. Even over Heart, because he has BKB.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because he has BKB, probably doesn't really want to go Heart until it's like at 5 seconds maybe. Well, even then, it's still very useful. I don't know. He's getting close to being 6 slotted, that's for sure. 45 minutes in, Matumble Man with 714 gold per minute. That's pretty good. Pretty good. EGM's gonna scout things out with his arrow. EGM's hitting pretty hard himself, but
oh, Arise, he needs to be careful.
Not hard enough right now. Yeah, Arise does not get bashed, thankfully for him. That Shockwave does almost nothing to Matumble Man. Call down coming down as well. Pretty much nothing as well. Sing Sing pops Ghost Scepter very early just to get back into his base. And the heal up on Matumble Man as well. So top lane in the meantime, Pycat's just split pushing as the Nature's Prophet should. That's a good boy. Good clean boy. Duels available. Assault Cure is getting very close for Legion Commander. In fact, he can probably finish it up with this next wave. He's going to be TPing top and defending. And maybe it's because they want... Well, they want to defend and he can pick up the assault now. Which will help for pushing, obviously.
Yeah, they can wait for the next Roche and perhaps end the game. Once again, it all comes down to RP usage now. If Tinker get a couple of good RPs, they can win the fight. If they don't, they're going to get squashed like bugs, I think. So there's a lot of weight on Arise's shoulders now once these team fights break out. It is definitely there's no one else who can do it.
Mana Boy not enough to take out Mirana, who gets disrupted right off the bat. Jerax comes in, gets arrowed directly in the face. Matumble Man, he gets an RP. Did get a double RP. That was a Trixie initiation as well. They're going to take him out. Now AM on the run, gets sheeped, trying to blink out. He's going to live at least for now. They can't... Oh, the Shockwave actually finishes him off, despite doing almost no damage to him anyway. Sing Sing, going to try to block in. Man, that is an amazing team fight for Team Tinker. They get 4, they lose 0.
Good RPs. And no Legion Commander. That was quite a big mistake from 4SC, but at the same time, just Tinker taking really good advantage of the situation. They saw Legion Commander porting back. They know there's only 4 heroes who can possibly be there, and they go for the play. And you could say that while it's a mistake for 4SC, that's perhaps also not the... I don't know if it's the likeliest play. Can you say that? The most likely? Likeliest, that's a new thing. The most likely play to come out. Likeliest, really?
Yeah.
I think you say most likely, right? You have to.
I could be making that up, but that sounds fine to me.
Yeah, I'm sure you are. But
English
still,
isn't my native language, syndereN.
The fact that they expose themselves to it and take the risk is kind of a big mistake. And it's going to cost them a lot here. It's not costing them enough. This probably needs to happen again for Tinker to be in a position to get some sort of objective out of it, but... It's also how 4ASC approach the game now, because if they could see the graphs, they might play differently, but their whole mentality in the game right now, they just lost 4 heroes, they might slow down. And I'm not sure that's the right approach now. I think this is the time when you take Roche and you get a line of racks at least, but...
Oh, look at the graphs. That's a big jump with that fight. Big jump.
It's huge.
I mean, if you really look at the items that Tinker's picking up, they deal enough damage by far. I mean, this is negative 12 armor on EGM alone with the Deso Salt Cures combination. He deals a considerable amount of damage. Nature's Prophet, even though some of it's magic, he still has a ton of items. He's dealing 400 damage basically with Empower. It's disgusting. So if they can just get the space that they need, if they get the Sheep Stick without any counter initiation coming the way of 4AC, if they get the Sheep Stick on Anti-Mage, he's dead. Plain and simple. Even Bristleback has a ton of armor, very tanky. They can take him out as well. Does Bristleback get disabled? I can't remember with the Sheep Stick.
Not anymore.
Because, yeah, it was... I know they changed it one way or another, so... Yeah,
it can only be removed by Doom, nothing else.
Okay.
And that's a Doom with Eggs, by the way. That's the only way.
Yeah. True enough. But Nature's Prophet, 1,600 gold. The hell does he go for now? I guess Boots of Travel. Double TP action. It's always nice to have.
Yeah. Either that or
BKB
gets a
is 9
Daedalus. He
seconds.
hits so incredibly hard, and I think maybe at this point, I guess the hard question to answer is what item do you drop? I think
Orchid,
the Orchid
probably.
is the least valuable one, but it's still pretty damn good.
Yeah.
You kind of don't want to drop anything, but I think Daedalus is necessary. Then they can really kill the agent.
Eurocopter. I heard a call down. He's on nothing. He has a Force Staff now and a Vlad, so going full utility. It's very interesting to see a utility gyro. It's not something you see that often anymore.
Lance is a very nice item. If he's not gonna go and become a semi-carry or a carry himself, then this is one of the most valuable items in a 50-minute game. 5 armor, damage aura, and lifesteal for the Magnus only, unfortunately, but still, just the 2 other things are worth the 2k gold.
Pycat's just going to continue to split push top. And you know what 4ASC is thinking? They're thinking this big juicy guy that's holding that disgusting, smelly what kind of cheese do you think that is? You know more about cheese than me, you're cultured.
I don't know, just
That's
if
how
you
you
have
know
a
when
look at
somebody's
the
cultured.
if you have a look at the icon, they really did their absolute best to make it look like it stinks as much as possible.
Yeah. So Limburger, is it Limburger cheese? Is that what it's called?
I'm not sure what it's called.
Oh my god, Matumbo
Pycat?
actually finds Pycat, but
He might go
he is
for this
invis.
kill.
He could get it, honestly. He's gonna TP out.
If he had Empower,
Plain
he
and
would have gone. I think.
Aghanim Scepter on Magnus can get Empower Global. What do you think? Global Empower for the win.
Oh, Sing's dead.
Sing, what are you doing on this side of the map, good sir? Damage goes away of Valix, who now has 114 with 3,500 gold to boot. Top lane, Matumbo Man. If they can get this kill, this would be pretty big. There's a full team smoke. This is going to be a blink initiation from Mr. RP himself. They're going to find him! Gets 1 RP off into the Sheepstick. It's going to be maybe... They don't need the second RP. That is just so much damage, as we talked about. There's going to be Roche, though. And the good thing about this for 4ASC is Anti-Mage couldn't have held the Aegis or the cheese anyway. The question is who's going to take it. We'll see soon enough. Bristleback takes the Aegis. Cheese online.
He's just gonna leave treads in the pit.
No, he missed. Yeah, that would have been questionable. The TP is so important at this stage of the game, but not that important.
No.
Boots of
Still a decent
Travel.
amount of gold for Trixie for selling those, now that he does have...
What do you think of the choice of Bristleback taking the Aegis? So the cheese is now on Valix, by the way.
I think it's good enough, because now, the way Trixie has been playing in the last couple of fights, this is how he can play now with Aegis. So, if they do manage to set up the fight and put Trix in the front lines, I don't think 4ASC can kill him without either committing a Hex or an RP or both, and that's good enough. Because if they can bait that out with the Aegis, then they'll probably get a lane of Rax for it. So, that's good enough. The hard part is getting that fight, because they have to wait 30 seconds for AM. Prophet is constantly being annoying. And like you said, Sing Sing was on the wrong side of the map pushing out, but it's kind of, you know, in a way, they have to do it. And they are going to get a couple of casualties. But all the times they don't get caught, it's easily worth it for the few times they do, if it gives them enough map pressure. You see him doing it again right now, by the way.
What?
The exact same thing. He just died there from doing this. He's going to do it again.
He's a stubborn man. Very stubborn. Of course, from 4ASC's perspective, it could be thinking this is just a bait. I mean, who else would be... Why would anybody else be out this far, right? Especially considering a couple are off the map at the moment. But I was going to say he's backing off, but he's really not. He's still here. Pops the call down. Very exciting play from Sing Sing, just split pushing. See, if you had an Aghanim Scepter, you could do this safely from the fountain.
Very nice.
That's the beauty of it all. And I think there's just a bait attempt. Pycat just waiting to go. Arrow gonna destroy a creep. But Boogie is here, so it's gonna be a very tough kill. Moonlight Shadow. Is that for Sing Sing to get out, or is that for initiation?
It's for initiation. They want to find Matumbo. Jarex is there. They're
Pycat.
going to find Jarex instead.
Oh, he gets blocked. They should know he's here, or maybe not. Tough to say. Here comes the initiation. Oh, the RP is going to be on 2. No, the Cyclone's going to keep Lion alive, but they do get the AM, which is more important, obviously. Double kill for Pyke, who popped the BKB as well. Tinker's looking real good.
They're doing a really good job at disallowing
Alex,
4AC
okay.
from playing their game. Yeah, he's
See
gonna
if
die.
EGM
Alex.
can get an arrow! That is no dual win for either party, and that is just a death. That's a triple kill from across the map for Pycat. Comes in the middle lane.
They're gonna force buybacks now too.
Absolutely. Let's see who
Boogie
has
and
buyback.
Trixie can't do this alone in terms
Everybody.
of... Trixie's gonna port back. And this is pretty huge, because they still have an RP left on Arise. He has the refresher. If they wait a minute, he even has 2. And if they force the buyback on AM, they can win the game. They're gonna use an LC first. Probably want to continue to force the AM one out, or no.
Top racks, by the way.
Yeah.
Taking considerable damage. Sing. Again, Aghanim Scepter. The call down could have worked. That's actually something to think about. I'm not okay. I was trolling just for a second. That is actually useful against these pushes. But in fact, it would be if it was a team you were playing, like if you're playing against Nature's Prophet or something. That's where it could become really useful. Honestly.
That's true.
Does the cooldown go down as well for Ags?
No.
Cooldown's really low anyway. No. Is that the only thing it does? Just make it global?
I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong. This is an item I like never pick up. So.
If that's the only thing it does, that explains why nobody picks it up. But
situational.
situational.
I can't remember. Like this item, you never see it.
Ooh. Full Ethereal Blade for Sing. Boogie gets initiated on. Okay. Abaddon sheeped. Soul Catcher applied. Arrow. Do nothing. There's disruption. They have enough damage.
Now I remember.
Well,
I looked it up, but now that I saw it, I remember that that's...
I remember once I looked it up.
Okay, let me try to rephrase that. Now that I saw it, it's true that the second missile gets increased damage. It's not by much, though. Right. That's why you kind of don't really consider that a significant part of the eggs, because what it really does is it's 75 more damage on all levels on the second missile, which is... Alright,
what if it didn't change damage, but it was global and the cooldown was 20 seconds? Would it be worth it?
That would be a lot better, for sure. That would be so much better. That would allow you to split push way more with it. It would be like a... kind of... When you have the eggs, you push one lane, right? And then you have to wait 45 seconds and do it again. With 20 seconds, you can kind of keep 2 waves pushed at once, which is really nice. So... that would make it way better. I think the second missile getting 75 damage is kind of negligible. It's not really important at all.
So Ethereal Blade now on Gyrocopter. That is amazing against Legion Commander in particular. Anybody she duels, basically you won't win the duel at any point, as long as it's not on Gyro. Because he'd have to cast it on himself to be Ethereal now.
At the same time, though, if you Ethereal a teammate and there's level 3 Finger, you might still win the duel. But
true. Well, yeah, Legion Commander herself will not do any damage. What I mean.
Yeah.
And she does have BKB. What's that?
It's even better against AM, I think, because the way AM will initiate the 5 he will blink Abyssal and then Manta, and you outlast the Abyssal and more. So even if you can last through the duel still, in its duration, still extends that of the E-Blade. So you still keep the target in place. Whereas against the AM, you just completely counterplay his entire initiate. So
that's a good point.
Like that a lot. Oh,
it's almost like having an aphotic shield to some degree, taking off the stun or something, but it's even more so. It's all the damage from anti-mage. Aside from the mana void, of course.
Oh, this is a big commitment.
Jerax gets the ultimate off on Bulba. That's a nice counter initiation, though, from Team Tinker. Is now Ethereal is used on Trixie, who gets slowed. Do they actually want to go for this? Soul Catcher is applied to him. Arise looking for the potential RP. It looks as if Tinker is going to be backing up.
Bristle is just so...
Trixie really wants this kill. Good God, he's literally max speed. This is so sick to watch. Arrow's going to connect on somebody, but they take it off. Thanks to Legion Commander. Trixie is a very fast piggy. In fact, he gets stuck to the creeps. That is unfortunate for him. Tinker continues to go on the run. Yules popped on Arise. BKB by Pyka. He's just trying to get the hell out of here. Disruption, very nicely done from Arise. Force Staff as well. Do they have enough? A double Force Staff. Jesus H. He could just RP right now if he wants. He's going to skewer. Valix uses his duel on Arise, who gets Ethereal right off the bat. Beautiful Mana Void. They're going to get 2 kills right off the bat. 1 buyback, make that 2 for Team Tinker. Despite being on the run this entire time, they were actually caught. Triple kill. Oh God, Trixie gets RP'd, but this is just Trixie you're RPing now. Trixie taking considerable damage from EGM, but this isn't going to be enough. Bottom lane in the meantime is getting pushed by Pyke. He gets the melee racks by himself, forces somebody out as well, the TP, to try to defend as much as possible. Trixie trying to go for this kill, but don't think he's going to get it. He's taking a lot of damage. He's outnumbered considerably. TP, he just cancels it, knowing that the rocket's going to connect. Ethereal now on him, takes a little bit of extra damage. The Aphotic Shield's there to take it off. Sing, trying to find somebody. Gets 4 staff. His homing missile's off cooldown. Nature's Profiteer. Where's the Sprout? There we go. And Trixie will finally find his way to the grave. But they lose a Rax in this meantime.
Wait. Oh, okay. AM just bought Refresher. So he's gonna be juggling that with the Courier. Yeah. So he's gonna be juggling it with the Courier so he can reset his BKB, Boots of Travel, and Abyssal Blade. Even the Manta, but
Can't say
that's
I've
hard
ever
to
seen
do in
that
the middle
before.
of the fight. It's still, oh, it kind of is the best item he can get. What else would he use his gold on? You can't buy a new BKB anymore. That's what AMs would usually get at this point.
Right.
There's nothing more valuable.
I would get a heart instead of the BKB probably. I mean, how good I mean, the BKB is for the sheep, right? So, I mean, that's pretty much the only thing you're BKBing for.
You counter arrow. You still counter magic damage. You shouldn't. I know it's an AM with 4 points in spell shield, and he does have a lot of magic resistance.
Well, they have 2 ways to take off arrow though. Teammates.
Yeah.
I mean, he has 2k health against all this physical damage. I don't know. He needs more HP.
He's gonna need
easier said than done. Yeah, he's forced. And it's. Oh
this is what you can't do with a heart, for example.
Yeah.
So if he has a heart there, he dies. So all the split push potential really comes from having the BKB. He's gonna refresh it now. This is pretty cool, right? Now it's like he didn't even get ganked.
Yeah. And they don't know that, obviously. They have no idea he has a refresher.
Oh, and he shows up in lane again so fast, they're like, what the hell? Just TP'd out. How's that even possible?
Well, Nature's Prophet's the one with just redonkulous amounts of gold. Getting close to the 10k mark. He is going to go dataless, so the question is, what does he drop? I think Sheepstick is way too valuable. Mjolnir is great for pushing, but... and attack speed, obviously. Well, the MKB you 100% need. Sheepstick you 100% need. Oh, we're going to see it for the first time ever I've ever seen this. Aghanim Scepter.
In a competitive
on the
game,
Abaddon, Bristleback.
Rare.
Yeah, Bristleback's dead. I'm really interested to see what Pycat drops, but correct me where I'm wrong about this since it's been literally
I love that you say
never.
when. It's so good.
What?
Correct me when I'm wrong. You just assume you're wrong.
I just assume at this point with you, syndereN. Okay, Aghanim Scepter, when you pop your ult, first of all, it lasts 2 seconds longer, your ult does. And any damage your teammates take in an area around you, I think it's like 900 AoE, you absorb. Is that correct?
Yes. 35%, not all of it. That would be absolutely insane.
Is it 900 AoE?
Yeah, it's 900 AoE, and 35% of all the damage your allies take gets redirected to you. So that means you get healed it as well.
Right.
So basically, Abaddon late game is a full HP button that tanks up your team 35%. This for me is one of the absolute best Aghanim's upgrades in the game, but it's so rarely you see it because Abaddon often doesn't get that much farm, and he doesn't have a good farm mechanic. So it's not just that the players prioritize
Jerax.
They just don't.
Doubleman's here as well. He gets Ethereal before the BKB. They're gonna finish off. Well, no, they don't. He gets 4-staffed out. RP on a Tumbleman with the BKB still activated. He's gonna blink out and TP as well. Did he get sheep? Oh, the RP is too late. He's back in base. They can't even get the Shadow Demon. By Shadow Demon, of course, I mean the other hero, the Lion on the opposite team. Demon. Okay, what did he drop? What did he drop for the Daedalus?
On Pycat?
Oh god, what was it? I mean, he sold the Orchid a while ago, so it wasn't the Orchid.
Yeah.
Oh god, he had.
Wow, I can't remember this either. I'm looking through his PKB.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Or?
No,
he did have a yeah, he did have a
yeah, he did. Okay, well, I guess he has 7 slots then, if it's still there, right?
Yep. He could buy a refresher too.
Yeah, he could. He definitely could. Volix looking for a kill. He still has the cheese to work with. So we have 2 cheese, 1 Aegis, now a butterfly and gyro. So he's going to start doing a decent amount of damage. The Yules onto Mirana. And double BKB. It's not going to be enough. EGM should go down to this duel. And that's going to be 132 damage coming the way of Legion Commander. That was the Aegis, by the way. And EGM gets sheep right off the bat. Nobody's coming to help you. Good clean, sir. And down he goes to the LC. And he does not have buyback, so this is 5-on-4.
How
And
is
AM,
Mirana a good clean serve? Oh.
just shut your mouth when you're talking to me, syndereN. I almost called you Sing Sing, but Sing Sing's the one getting initiated on. He gets destroyed. No buyback on him either. They're gonna go for throne here. Oh my god. And meanwhile, bottom lane being pushed by Pycat and company. Is this enough? Fortification pop for the Dire. If this turns into the win for 4ASC, I don't freaking believe this. In fact, they can't even go for throne. Nature's Prophet's forced back to try to defend. Disruption. RP is gonna completely miss and he's just gonna yield. They're gonna take the game! 4ASC, are you freaking kidding me? They get 2 kills, and that's GG. Unbelievable. How is that even possible? Just out of nowhere.
I'm still trying to process how to shut my mouth while talking to you. That's...
You don't know where that's from, syndereN? That's so disappointing.
I'm
that's
sorry.
Really Wedding Crashers.
Shut your mouth when you're talking to me. That's
yeah,
nice.
there you go. Okay.
Where was that from, you say?
Wedding Crashers.
Oh, okay.
One of the best quotes of all time, but yeah.
Yeah, that's really good. Yeah, wow. I really didn't see that coming either. This looked like a game that was going to last a little bit longer, but they bought out on, or not bought out, but they bought out their gold. They used all their gold on Gyro and Mirana, and they lose the Aegis for nothing, then they use the Gyro, and then, like, there's no potential for winning the fight for Tinker 5-on-3. They couldn't do anything at that point. It's just a really... It's kind of an anticlimactic ending, because this could have been one of those epic base races, or a double sick RP that changes the game, or a clutch initiation from 4ASC's Lion, or Leading Commander Duel, or whatever, but they kind of end up getting it for free, which is a little sad, I guess, from a spectator point of view. But when you look at how the game developed from start till end, I feel like 4ASC were the right winners, but I think they should have won it way earlier. I think they made a couple of mistakes that delayed the game by at least 20 minutes, I would say. So, in that sense,
got caught out with
Tinker
no
deserved
buybacks
to come back.
Well,
Maybe Tinker deserved to come back because they delayed it, but I feel like it was a bit of both. Like, 4ASC got sloppy and Tinker made some good plays, but still. They almost made it, but good for 4ASC.
They were looking real good in those fights. The RPs just didn't connect the last couple fights. There was no buyback on EGM. Of course, he had the Aegis, so he really didn't expect to die twice, and his teammates didn't come defend him, defend his dead body. But 4ASC does win. And, of course, just to recap, 4ASC, it doesn't matter for Team Tinker at all this series, but because they're stuck at 3rd place no matter what. 4ASC can move up in the prize pool distribution. They will not make the playoffs, but they can still get a little bit more money. So, Game 2 coming up next. Hold your horses.
And your mouth.